You want to understand the politics of Star Wars?
Oh my god, of course I don't. Do we actually want to delve into the politics of Star Wars? Because when I watched that, the only thing that I knew was like pew pew pew. You know, that was cool. And then he lost his hands. That was unfortunate.
Penguin Stress
Hey, thanks for the sub, brother.
Subscribed for 3 months. Finally made it to a stream, Papa.
Hell
Honestly worried for the future at this point.
Yeah, I feel you. You know what's interesting? I was watching a video, and it was like, yeah, you know what would have happened if Obi-Wan at the end of the third prequel, if he had lost? They were saying if he had lost and Anakin had won, they were saying Anakin was going to kill Palpatine. And I was like, what? Really? Is that canon? That would be so crazy.
Buckle up. Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, the noble Jedi Knights were at war with an evil force known as the Sith.
Okay.
The war raged on for a few years, with the galaxy getting more and more fed up with the fact that the Jedi could just declare war whenever they wanted.
Is that real? The Jedi, this sounds tyrannical.
Like, come on guys, the Sith disappear and come back like every 5 years, just give it a rest already. Fortunately for the Jedi, the Sith were crazy power hungry, and they all killed each other because they couldn't decide who should lead. So the Jedi went back to Coruscant just in time to...
is that why there's only 2 Sith at a time? Because they're so power hungry that they don't like allow themselves to stay there? That's crazy.
The new leader of the Republic, Chancellor Valorum. And so Valorum took...
Because it always sounded stupid to me that you could only have 2 Sith at a time. It's like, what the fuck is that all about? It's dumb as shit. That's a really bad logistical decision. So the reason that they only have 2 is because of how power hungry they are? It's not because... Because I remember playing like I played the Star Wars MMO, Knights of the Old Republic, not the old one. And there you could legitimately just be a Sith. It's called the Rule of 2. Wow, it sounds like how could it be no more and no less? Like that doesn't even make logical sense. Yeah, we killed both the Sith. Well, they're still somewhere. You just gotta start killing everybody. Weird.
Took the Jedi aside and said, "Hey guys, look."
And don't the Sith like come from the Jedi anyway? Aren't most of them like turncoats? So wouldn't it? Okay.
Thanks for saving us and all, I really do appreciate it. But nobody likes that you keep dragging us into war. So I'm gonna go introduce some legislation, and basically you guys are going to need our permission before you can do any more war stuff.
That's fair.
And while I'm at it, I'm going to abolish the Republic military. And
that doesn't sound good.
so Valorum did all that stuff, and everybody clapped and had a grand old time for the next 1,000 years.
Really? It was that good for 1,000 years? Sheesh.
The Sith were extinct, the Jedi were demoted to traffic cops, and the Republic stagnated without conflict, making practically no technological advancements, and gradually becoming more and more corrupt.
Really? Would that happen? Like, I do understand that in war times we shoot up in our technological achievements, but do you think that there would be no technological... I mean, they're pretty advanced at that point, I guess. I mean, I wonder what their water infrastructure's like. I don't know.
Now allow me to introduce a little Mune boy by the name of Higo Damask. Now, the interesting thing about Munes is that they pretty much controlled all of the banks in the galaxy, and every single...
Oh, dude. Are they supposed to be Jewish people? That's terrible. Why do people... I'm just saying, there always seems to be like, you know, like, oh, goblins are... That's like a Jewish representation, you know what I mean? Like in World of Warcraft, they're all money hungry and shit. That's where it comes from. That's where goblins come from. Not World of Warcraft, but that's like the legitimate historical accuracy. Like elves are supposed to be like sexy white people, like English people. Like, you know, trolls from World of Warcraft, dude, they're like Jamaican. They have the accent and everything. I have to sneeze. Is it gonna come? The Tauren, the big bull people, those are supposed to be Native Americans, indigenous people. You didn't know that. Undead? Those are dead people. Did you know that? They're actually British. Sorry, guys. Oh, they're British. Do I do a good impersonation of an idiot?
one of them was obsessed with money. So it should come as no surprise that young Higo's father traded him to a shifty businessman in exchange for a higher position at
Yeah, that guy looks like he's a fucking pussy slit on his head.
This company. What nobody knew, however, is that when the Sith wiped themselves out, a single Sith Lord survived and reformed the Order into the Rule of 2. Over the past 1,000 years, the Sith had survived in the shadows, and Force-sensitive young Higo was now the apprentice of the evil Darth Tenebrous.
Oh, shit.
Higo learns all that he can from Tenebrous, and one day decides to accidentally drop an entire cave on his master. Emerging as the new Sith Lord, Darth Plagueis takes over his father's company.
I mean, this seems like a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point, right? So the Sith were like really power hungry and killed each other, so they created the Rule of 2. Okay, I get it. But now, if you're going to adhere to this rule, you're basically saying that anybody you train is going to inevitably kill you. You're creating an environment, a self-fulfilling prophecy like type environment. What do you say? A self-fulfilling prophetic environment? Is that how you say that? I don't know. I'm not smart. You right? So like, if your whole ruling is like, yeah, you can't have more than 2, then all of a sudden it's like, well, I gotta kill you when you get old. Yeah, you do. You're gonna have to fucking murder me and then take a Padawan on. Wow, incredible. That's maybe why didn't any of the Sith go like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I just killed my master. I'm not teaching the next one to fucking kill me. It's interesting. Interesting.
And becomes one of the richest men in the galaxy. One day, Plagueis decides to take a business trip to the planet of Naboo. Naboo has two
If Papa was a character in Star Wars, I'd be a Hutt. You think that's an insult? Hutts are like fucking gangsters. They control the world. They control a lot of shit. They're rich, they're fat, and they're fucking... That's what their body is healthy being fat. How is that a fucking insult? How the fuck is that an insult? Oh, like, what? Oh, you'd be a rich fat guy? Okay. I'd be a slug monster. Ain't no fucking insult. I'd be macking it. Dude, I'd be doing this. Making it rain, motherfucker. I don't give a shit. You think that's an insult? Fuck you. You're an idiot. You understand? Pop of the gut. Exactly.
Natural resources, plasma energy, and angsty political science majors. So it should come as no surprise that Plagueis not only sets up a trade deal with Naboo, but also meets the enterprising young Sheev Palpatine. Palpatine has great political aspirations, but his father's being grumpy and cramping his style. So after some advice from Plagueis, Palpatine does what any normal, well-adjusted teenager would do, and brutally murders his mother, father, and siblings with the Force, and
Wait. So we're telling me that Palpatine is just like an angsty Gen Zer? That's incredible.
frames it on pirates. Adopting the name Darth Sidious, Palpatine becomes Plagueis' apprentice for the years to
The Masters did not hold anything back. If their apprentices failed to kill them, they would kill them in return. Also, most of the Sith Lords after the World II were obsessed with immortality because they did not want to die. Oh, okay. Well, interesting.
come. As part of their grand plan to take over the Republic, Palpatine rises through the political ranks, eventually becoming Naboo's senator and representative on
Palpatine, hell yeah.
Coruscant. There, he befriends another senator, one Finis Valorum. Yep, that's right, the descendant of the guy who took away the Republic's army. Needless to say, among the corrupt slime of Coruscant, Valorum has quite the fan club. And to top it all off, he has morals. Ugh, who wants those? However,
True.
through subtle manipulation on Palpatine's part, Valorum is elected to the Chancellorship, and spends the next 7 years leading the Republic from atop a flimsy pedestal just waiting to be toppled by a light breeze. Now we gotta take a step back and look at the structure of the galaxy. The galaxy is divided into 3 sectors. Okay, really it's divided into way more, but for the sake of discussion there are 3. The wealthy core, home to worlds such as Alderaan and Coruscant. The mid-rim, home
Yes, that's where I would live. And we call that the white core. There's mostly white people there, of course. You know, because we're racist. I'm just creating analogies to our current society.
to average worlds such as Kashyyyk and Naboo.
Yeah, those are the forest areas. Those are that's the Hispanic is the mid rim in our society, right? Because and then the last one, of course, is unfortunately black people because we as a society don't like black people. This is a really weird racist joke that's happening. The whole joke is that our society tends to rank people based on their proximity to whiteness. But okay.
And
I like black people too. Yeah, me too.
Outer Rim, which the Republic largely ignored, allowing criminals to rise on planets such as Tatooine, and separatist sentiments to grow on worlds such as Geonosis. Now, the Mid and Outer Rim worlds need supplies from the core, and the core wants materials and luxury goods from the Mid and Outer Rim.
True.
So we get this big old system of hyperspace trade routes. Thing is, though, all of these trade routes are being taxed by the central government, so there isn't as much trade going on as they would like. So one day, the government is like, hey, let's make these things called free trade zones. There will be no taxes there, so we'll be able to create more trade in those areas. There is literally no way that this could backfire. Enter the Trade Federation, a galaxy-spanning corporation owned by the cowardly Nemoidians. The Federation is basically space Comcast. They swoop in and start taking over all the trade in the free trade zones, and the government is like, now remember, you crazy kids, monopolies are illegal. Why, we would never dream of monopolizing the free trade zones. So the Trade Federation takes over 99% of the trade in the free trade zones, and pretty much all the rest is hijacked by criminal organizations like Black Sun. But don't worry, Palpatine has a red man with horns go and kill all of them. Now the Federation is even more powerful. But then the government is like, this is too much power for the Trade Federation. We need to change the system to give the smaller world more control. And Plagueis steps in,
True. We should implement a universal basic income for the poor planets. It would be a good idea.
throws a bunch of money at them and says, nah. Give the smaller worlds a bit more power. But in exchange, give the Federation a seat in the Senate. So the Federation gets a seat in the Senate and continues to overcharge their customers and underpay their suppliers, all while stealing business from the smaller worlds. Naturally, this breeds some strong emotions in the populace of the galaxy, and soon enough a small group of terrorists pops up to challenge the Federation.
Oh shit. But they're good guys, I think.
Now, the Sith want to see the Federation succeed, so to achieve this, they funnel a bunch of money down to the terrorists. And now, they're a big group challenging the Federation, so the Federation builds up a small droid army to defend itself from the terrorists. Meanwhile, Palpatine calls up a member of the Federation by the name Newt Gunray, and he's like, hey Gunray, remember the Sith? Yeah, that's me. Do everything I tell you and I'll make you super powerful.
Cool.
But how do I know you're really a Sith Lord?
Bro, the voices are killing me. They're very cringe, but I appreciate them.
Watch as I
It's like my dad that used to read to me. Never, because I'd never had a dad.
force choke your potted plant from across the galaxy. That plant was a gift. So Palpatine helps Gunray make some great trade deals and he starts to rise up the ranks in the Federation. Then Palpatine calls him up again and says, I need you to ship a very specific amount of obscure foreign currency across the galaxy. So the ship sets off with the currency on board and Palpatine calls up the terrorists. I need you to intercept a Trade Federation ship and steal a very specific amount of obscure foreign currency. So they steal it and the Federation goes crying to the Republic. We were attacked and lost a very specific amount of obscure foreign currency. You need to allow us to have more battle droids to defend ourselves. Then Palpatine goes to Chancellor Valorum, who says, the Federation is already far too powerful and everyone knows it. So Palpatine says, let's cut them a deal. They get their army, but in exchange we get to tax the free trade zones. It will finally let mid-rim businesses make a profit. Valorum agrees and Palpatine calls up the terrorists. Valorum's going to give the Trade Federation a bigger army. Go scare him with a fake assassination attempt. So the terrorists attack Valorum in broad daylight and he goes back to Palpatine. Hey Palpatine, maybe we shouldn't go through with this deal. And Palpatine says, nonsense. Let's just relocate the meeting to discuss it. I know. We can meet on Eriadu, homeworld of Lieutenant Governor Tarkin. We can tell all his security forces to be watching out for an attack against you. So they plan the meeting on Eriadu. Meanwhile, Palpatine calls up the terrorists. Hey, remember that very specific amount of obscure foreign currency you stole? Invested all in this crappy little mid-rim business called Valorum Shipping and Transport.
Oh, so this is basically where Bitcoin is invented. Okay.
Make sure to transfer it through a bunch of shady banks first, though. Oh, and by the way, don't forget about our plan for the Eriadu meeting. Unfortunately, during all of these shenanigans, there's an actual assassination attempt against Plagueis. Palpatine determines the culprit to be none other than King Varuna of Naboo, whom he promptly brutally murders with the Force, as would any normal, well-adjusted elderly senator. He then proceeds to nominate a replacement ruler, in the form of 14-year-old political prodigy Padme Naberrie. Now,
wow, sounds like he's grooming her. Am I right? Wait a minute, it makes sense now. She's only 14 years old in the first movie? Wait. It makes sense. I'm going to explain this to you. Let me explain this to you, okay? So you have a 14-year-old person. We'll say a 14-year-old girl, though the age doesn't necessarily matter in this instance, right? Now, she's being groomed as a child to be queen, right? Technically. What happens at a similar time as this? We meet I believe he's 4. How old is Anakin? Let's see. How old is Anakin in episode 1? Is he 4 years old? He's 9. Oh, he's 9? What the fuck? Okay. So he's 9 years old. Their age gap isn't as big as I thought it was. What is happening here? Where was I? Okay. Okay, so he's 9 years old, right? Boom. Right? This is when they meet. This is their ages, right? What does she do? They get really comfortable. Then she ends up grooming him so that they could have sex. Right? So they end up kind of getting together, and then, like, you know, he's getting there, he's like this, he's like, woo! And then she's, you know, she's a girl, and she's got her vagina here. It's very large. And she's happy. Yay! Just kidding, guys. This is a clown nose. I don't know. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here, let me get the sex off the screen as well. Right? The point I'm making here is that habits that you learn as a child carry with you into being an adult. So if you are raised in an environment where you are groomed, there's a higher chance that you may be a groomer because of that. Now, I'm not saying that always happens. I'm just saying that this maybe doesn't apply to this. But it's a fundamental, like, if you grow up in an abusive household, you have a higher chance of being abusive yourself. It's one of the reasons why, like, when unfortunately a kid is molested, there's a higher chance of them being like a pedophile, attracted to children as they grow up. You know, it's unfortunate, but like these patterns do carry over. So this insane weird rant that I went off kind of makes some sense.
Now, all the relevant parties proceed to the meeting on Eriadu. Palpatine receives a call informing him that King Varuna mysteriously died. Meanwhile, across the room, Newt Gunray gets a call of his own. Pizza delivery for, Newt Gunray?
What? I ordered no pizza. I'd better go check this out.
So Gunray leaves the rest.
They have like a whole Italian planet that delivers pizzas? That's crazy. There'd probably be a lot of Hispanic people working at that, on that planet. I mean, if you think about it, have you ever gone to a pizza place run by Italians that wasn't basically completely run by Hispanic? Like, the Hispanic people, Italians make garbage food. Hispanic people make authentic Italian pizza. It's the truth of the matter. You guys like to pretend, oh, I'm Italian, we make really good pasta. No, you don't. You make garbage. You don't make anything. Okay? Okay, pizza is authentic Hispanic food. It's the truth. I think it's about time we recognize that.
Rest of the Trade Federation leadership behind in the meeting room. Suddenly, Valorum's Jedi guards sense a sniper, and they and the Ariadu security forces rush off to take him out.
We have you surrounded. Your assassination attempt has failed.
That's what you'd like to think, isn't it? The terrorist presses a button, and all of a sudden the battle droids around the Trade Federation swivel around and open fire, killing everyone in charge.
What the fuck?
I hope you guys like anchovies. What did I miss?
Newt Gunray becomes leader of the Trade Federation by default. The deal goes through and the Federation gets his army, but the Republic begins discussing taxes for the free trade zones. At the secret request of his good friend Senator Palpatine, Tarkin demands that Ariadu be put in charge of the investigation rather than the Republic. Without Palpatine's funding, the terrorists fizzle out, and the case is allowed to go cold. Following their spectacular failure at Ariadu, the Jedi are further scorned, and a clause is added to the Trade Federation deal, saying that the Jedi can't interfere with trade negotiations without authorization by the Senate.
Okay.
Palpatine leaks some
I mean, that would make a logistical sense.
choice information to the Senate's Internal Activities Committee. They find that the Trade Federation reported a very specific amount of obscure foreign currency missing. That same amount was then anonymously invested in a previously small-scale mid-rim business owned by the Valorum family, and almost immediately afterward, Valorum announced a deal to be made with the Trade Federation that would serve to boost the company's business. The following months see Valorum put on trial on charges of conspiring with the Trade Federation, permanently tarnishing his already weak reputation.
Damn.
During this, Palpatine calls up
Palpatine's smart as fuck, dude. Holy shit.
Gunray and congratulates him on his new position.
A fat load of good it will do me. This taxation is completely unfair. It will ruin us.
I say you should send a message to the Republic. Show them you will not stand for this. Blockade a planet.
Yes, we can blockade Ariadu for failing to protect us.
No, you need to blockade the homeworld of the senator who proposed this ridiculous charade in the first place. That ingenious, strapping young Senator Palpatine of Naboo.
We will get right on it, my lord.
Plagueis and
Why? What's the logical connection there?
Palpatine meet back up and review their plan.
Let's go over it once more. Step 1. Ruin the reputation of Finis Valorum and prevent Jedi intervention in our plans.
Check. Step 2. Get the Trade Federation an army and replace their leader with one who owes me for all his success.
Check. Step 3. Blockade Naboo, preventing necessary supplies from being brought to the planet.
Step 4. Invade the planet and force the incompetent teenage monarch to sign a treaty legalizing their actions, preventing the Senate from intervening.
Step 5. You will complain to the Senate that your people are starving.
Yeah, that is a good point. Somebody said that I missed the part where Jar Jar Binks was pulling the strings behind Palpatine the whole time. You did. I think that this is not a very good video. They haven't actually acknowledged that. But that's what happened, guys. I don't know if you knew that, but Jar Jar Binks was the mastermind all along.
And put all blame on Valorum for giving the Federation this much power in the first place.
Step 6. Convince somebody to call for a vote of no confidence in Valorum.
This video's boring? Fuck you, bitch. This is Star Wars. It's never boring, okay? I'm 32 years old. This is the time for a Star Wars nerd that enjoyed the prequel trilogy to look at this. You think I gave a fuck about this when I was a kid? I saw the third movie like 6 times in the theaters. The lightsaber battle was fucking awesome. And you want to know what? I liked the prequel trilogy better than the sequels. Well, of course, the sequels were garbage, objective garbage dog shit. The story just sucked. Like it wasn't like it was in episode 7. The story was like solid, and then they killed it in episode 8. And so, like, you know, I imagine if they created 7, 8, and 9 and they did well on the storyline, I would probably enjoy it, but I wouldn't enjoy it as much as my childhood Star Wars series. You know, but like I enjoyed the prequels the most because I was a kid. Okay. Calm down, dude. It's not my fault that Episode 7 was well written. Episode 8 ruined the whole entire trilogy. It's just the reality. I don't know what you want me to tell you. That's the unfortunate. They just killed everybody's storyline. They made it very boring. Anyway, I like the sequels better than the originals, just because it was my childhood. I thought it was cool. It resonated more.
Relying on the fact that no one likes him to ensure he is removed from office.
Step 7. Convince somebody to nominate you for the chancellorship. Take control, force the Federation to back off, and emerge a hero.
Step 8. Get Plagueis absolutely wasted. Wait until he passes out, and then electrocute him in his sleep, claiming the title of Dark Lord for myself, and ruling the galaxy with Darth Maul by my side.
I'm sorry, what was that last one?
Oh, nothing. Say, let's have a drink to celebrate our victory over the Republic. First 20 rounds are on me.
Oh, dude, rad, let's do it. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could somehow miraculously
Oh shit.
Dragonborn 360
Yeah.
$3.33. Papagatka Falls and Review Tekasa talk to Ricky about Stanitos and the quartering. Here is the video. Their talk/debate starts at 1:08 and 27 seconds.
Oh, cool. Thanks for letting me know that. Awesome. Actually awesome, because I was going to go through that entire drama. So, cool. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you sending that to me.
Report the Queen to Coruscant in the middle of the blockade. Our little girl would garner a lot more sympathy in the Senate than some old dude. This could end up going even faster than we anticipate.
Oh, that would be cool. Shame there's no possible way it could happen. Meanwhile, Chancellor Valorum calls a secret audience with the Jedi. Look, Master Jedi, I know it's technically illegal to send you guys on trade negotiations now, but can't you just spare 1 or 2 Jedi for a secret mission? For an old friend?
Have one, we do. A misfit hears, always disobeying the wishes of the Council. Already one apprentice he has had, who has gone to the dark side.
Wow. That's actually smart for them to use Qui-Gon Jinn, considering he was like a rebel, so they could just be like, that's kind of manipulative. Like, yeah, we're going to use the guy who's always rebellious, and then if he gets caught, we're going to be like, he's an asshole.
Miss him. Nobody would.
It doesn't sound very promising. Does he at least come with a snarky British sidekick?
As a matter of fact.
Sold.
Incredible. Cool video. I like that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.